Hello, everybody out there in Facebook world. I am Brad Smith, Assistant Director of Enrollment here at Cornerstone's PGS department, and with me is
Hi, I'm Kirsten Wigboldy. I'm an enrollment counselor with the PGS department. And today we're here answering some top questions that we hear from our students daily. So if you have any questions at all throughout this, feel free to type in a question and I'll be sure to ask Brad. So starting off, kind of the main idea here is, what does the class structure look like?
yes, very good question. So we have kind of two different structures, online and on campus. You're with a group or a cohort, what we call it. It's just a fancy word for a group. But you'll stick with that group for the majority of your program and just kind of work through one class at a time with them.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And when can I start?
Definitely one of the top questions that we get. Everybody wants to know, when can I start? When can I start? So we don't operate on a normal semester basis. Our programs are very unique for working adults and to make it as manageable as possible for you. You're already busy enough as it is. So we have rolling start dates throughout the entire year. So every few months or so, we're starting another group for you.
Wonderful, thank you. And kind of running alongside that, what does the cohort model look like? Will I be with my peers a lot, or what's up with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. You will not be alone. That is for sure. You'll be with a group of other individuals very similar to yourself. Many of them are working full time. A lot of them have families, have a lot going on. So definitely are with a group of people that are in the same boat as you, for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Not alone.
Yes, absolutely. Always good to not be alone.
Yeah, totally. And then the last question in this kind of series about cohorts would be, what is the length of each class and each program? How many weeks? What's the time frame?
Gotcha, for sure. So the length varies a little bit. Each class is usually between 6 to 8 weeks. So you take one class at a time. When you finish with that class, you move right into the next one, and then the next one, and just kind of progress through your entire program that way. So all pre-scheduled for you, so you don't have to worry about registering for classes or things like that. And then most of our programs you finish up in around 2 years or so. So not too long for you.
It's pretty quick. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that kind of wraps up our class structure series of questions. And for those of you who may just be tuning in now, we are answering all the top questions we get from our students. And now we will move into the format options that we have for our programs with online, on campus, and so forth. So the first question, what is the difference between attending online versus on campus for students?
Yes, very, very good. Online is exactly what it sounds like. You're online. Whole program is online. You never have to come to campus at all unless you really want to. We'd love to see your face, but don't feel obligated to show up at any point. Fully online, assignments are usually given out on a week-by-week basis. So for us, the week starts on Tuesday and ends on the following Monday. That's very bizarre. I get the question often of why is that? It again comes back to having adults in mind. We don't want to end our week on like a Saturday or a Sunday. The weekend, your weekends are busy enough as it is. So we start on Tuesday, end it on Monday, so any last minute procrastination that needs to take place and any homework that needs to be done on Monday, you can get it done on that day. So that's kind of how the online structure. On campus structure, courses are just one night a week from 6 until 10 p.m. The night of the week does not change for you. The classroom does not change for you. Again, as simple, as easy as possible, we try to make it for working adults. You have enough to keep track of. You don't want to go to one classroom one week and then another classroom the next week. No, enough of that. Yeah.
Nice, thank you. And going off of our on-campus classes, where is the PGS building?
That's a very good question, for sure. You need to know where you're going. So we are not located on main campus. The reason for that, we didn't build our building on main campus. No.
That's the whole reason.
That's the only reason. No, it's not. Our students, again, they're adults. They don't really want to be on main campus with 18 and 19-year-olds. Our building is a standalone building. It is on the East Beltline, 300 East Beltline. Our main campus is on the corner of the Beltline in Leonard. So we're about a mile south from that. So standalone building, parking right next to the building, into the classroom, quick and simple for you.
Nice,
Yeah.
totally. All right, so what if I want to learn online and on campus? Is there blended options?
Definitely, there are. A couple of our programs have it built in to them. Our MBA, you take your specific core or your core MBA courses. Those can be on campus, so the one night a week format. And then when you switch to your specific concentration courses in your MBA, those are then online. We have a couple of other programs, like our master's in TESOL, our doctorates. Those have a blended format in them as well. And then if you're pursuing your bachelor's through our program, you can take some of your electives that you might need to take the opposite way. So if you have an online program, you can take some of your electives on campus if you want. Try to speed up your finish a little bit. Not that we want to get you out of here, but we kind of want to get you out of here, and you probably want to get out too, so.
Wonderful. All right, so that kind of wraps up segment 2 of our
Perfect.
questions. So those of you who may be just tuning in, this is my friend Brad.
Hello.
And myself. We work in the PGS department here. We enroll students, adult students, and we're answering all the questions that we get, at least the top ones, from our students when we talk to them. So we will now jump into our last series of questions. And if you have a question or comment throughout, type in the little chat box and we'll answer that for you.
For sure.
Okay, so this last series of questions for you, Brad, is what does being in a cohort mean? The word's kind of funny. So yeah, that's kind of the general idea.
Gotcha. Yes, cohort. That is a word I had never actually heard of before I started working here. So when I first started working, I was like, what in the world is that? Basically, it is a fancy word for group. Your cohort is the group of students that you will be with through pretty much the entirety of your program. So you get to know them really well, build really cool relationships with them throughout the program. Yeah.
How many students are in a cohort usually?
It varies depending on program, but we intentionally like to keep them small. That gives you way more one-on-one time with your instructor. And you get to know the other people in your cohort a lot better as well. So it's usually between 8 to 16 students per cohort.
Wonderful. And what can I expect to learn from my peers in my cohort?
A ton. So one of our admissions requirements is that you have some work experience. And we will draw on that work experience throughout your program. So your assignments will ask you, how would you implement this at your work? Or tell us a time when this situation happened at your work. So you'll get tons of different stories from the students that are in your program with you on what they've experienced, what they've seen that has helped or hindered their company or organization. So definitely is a huge part of our program.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Getting to know others and kind of going back and forth with
Yeah,
perspectives.
for sure.
That's
Yep.
cool. And then lastly, will others in my cohort be just like me, like the same age, or what does that look like?
Yes. So yes and no. They will definitely be like you in the fact that they are adults. As I mentioned before, many of them are working full time, have families, so a ton of responsibility, but will for sure be very different from you. Different ages, ethnicities, genders, is all over the place, which we love. We want there to be different perspectives,
Yeah.
different mindsets.
Totally.
We do not want you to walk into a classroom and see everybody that is exactly like you.
Right. It's
Yeah.
good to switch it up.
Yes, for
Being
sure.
a diverse classroom. I like it.
Yes.
So that kind of concludes all of our questions. Thank you, Brad, for answering all of my
Yeah,
questions.
no problem, for sure.
I guess just to conclude, stay tuned for our next session. We'll be doing these Facebook Lives a lot more often so we can answer common questions we get and explain more about our programs. So be sure to stay engaged in our Facebook. Give us a call if you have any questions or are interested. 800-947-2382.
All right, see ya.
See ya.